I keep thinking you'll come on back to me.
Welcome to the Generally Dysfunctional podcast, folks. It's me, Nikosi, along with the homies Ken, Mariba, and Watless. How are you guys doing?
Very well. Welcome back, Watless. Welcome back, Watless.
Yeah.
Unless you line here the last podcast, I'll talk about how I can start one hand in.
Catch up besides, I mean, it's good to see that you're back from the dead. You're no longer suffering.
Penicillin works wonders.
Yeah, well.
You went and see Trevor Sayers. He was on more natural herbs.
You talk to the back. You know.
Yeah, man.
Good to see that most of you all are so far in good spirits. Unfortunately, we have to start this week's podcast with some sad news. Prolific rapper, man of the community, man of the people, inspiration to many, Nipsy Hussle has passed away. He was shot on the 31st of March, last Sunday gone, by a snitch-ass, lame-ass nigga.
Yep.
I mean, a bum rolled up and took out a king, as we've been saying. Unfortunately, we've lost someone who was very, very, very inspirational to a lot of people, myself included. I don't know if you guys have any interaction with his music or his interviews.
Yeah, I mean, he had a critically acclaimed album, nominated for a Grammy. He was always good in the posse cuts, which I used to love of him. I think he was in all the Fat Rap tracks that I liked, and he wasn't. I'm not gonna say he was internationally renowned, but he was big. He's big in the US, and if you knew rap and you knew about music from his area, music about where he's from, you knew Nipsey Hussle, and I think it's good. It's a good accolade that you can be known for your music as well as for who you are as a person. That's a really good big thing to have about a person, is to be known for who you are as a person, not just what you provide to other people. And Nipsey was a good person, like considering all of the circumstances he's been through.
Yeah, through and through. Nip was he was one of the first people who I identified with regards to the whole it's not about the diamonds, and it's not about it's not about all the chains and the bling and the women with the fat asses and all the fancy flashy fast cars. I remember there was an interview I saw of him. I don't remember where he was. He was most likely in Crenshaw, as he usually is, which is where he got shot in front of his own store. And the interviewer was asking him why he was so adamant that he had to get assets, and he had to get land and things that won't depreciate but rather appreciate over time, as opposed to buying a car, something that loses value as soon as you drive it off the lot. And he has been preaching that and living that since day one. He was not about that fake shit. He kept it all the way 100, gave back to his community. People like even the police officers and the security personnel in his community and in the neighborhood had a lot of praise for him, even though he was, as you would say, a known gang member. Right? He was a member of the Rolling 60s, but comparing, no, till the day he died.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, nigga was rolling till the day he died. That was never, he never, let that, he was never identified by that, let's say. He was never identified by his gang affiliation, right? We knew he was protected, we knew he was safe and secure with that backing behind him, but I mean, he's done songs with Game, he's done songs with YG, and those are blood members, so that wasn't really a factor. He showed love, and love was shown to him, which is, something that you can't really say for a lot of people, a lot of young people these days. I mean, he was only 33 years old. We are not so far from 33, right?
Not at all.
All of us here, I think, Watless, you're the oldest one out of all of us, yeah?
Yeah.
You're like 60 something.
I'm 32, I'm gonna be, all that, 60 some, 70 some.
Yeah, but I mean, it's sad, man, it's sad. I don't normally get like fucked up for celebrity deaths and whatever and whatnot, but this one hurt, for real. This one hurt because he was a huge inspiration to me. So yeah, man, rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
Only thing I would just add to that is that I would say I know a lot about his music stuff. I'm not even gonna go down that road, but from what I read up and what I learned about him, I think he was really, really adamant on giving back to his community a lot, as much as possible, and he's opening programs and stuff to helping youth who just came back out of prison and stuff to get into STEM field and stuff, giving them a second chance and at life and stuff, because we know the deal. You're black, you have a record, how hard it's going to be and stuff, and this guy's really trying to give back to the community, and this weak ass weak ass nigga who has nothing going for him and has nothing to contribute to society come and do this nonsense, and you just lost a leader there. That's it. You just lost a leader there. We're gonna do about this now, and then he goes on the run.
Yeah,
I ain't got
that's
nothing to
also
say
okay.
about that guy.
He came into
Mm,
the
no.
king, and I mean, he was only accessible because he didn't run away from the hood. He did not
Mhm.
leave all his brothers and sisters to languish in poverty. He was there all the time. He tried to help. He gave people jobs from the community. He gave people training from the community. I mean, he was really a man of the people. But yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, the other side of that is also you are gang affiliated. So unfortunately, it comes with the territory, right?
True.
Threats in your life. And on top of that, he did not, as you were saying just now, he did not leave the hood. He stayed in the hood. He made his business in the hood. He had a huge clothing store called Marathon Clothing, which is where the new hashtag the marathon continues comes from. His whole thing was giving back, and his whole thing was staying there. So as I said, it is part of, it comes with the territory. It's part of being in that lifestyle, right? Do you guys think that it would be better for someone who gains fame to stay or to leave the hood and then contribute in some other way?
I'll let you guys go first.
Whatless?
Well, to be fair, I think if you're not gang affiliated, you could stay in the hood. But if you got people coming after you, I think leave the hood and try something else.
Well, you said you're sending money over.
No, try invest in some businesses, make some plans, help the youths on them.
But
Make
just
some.
don't be there physically.
You don't have to, because if your area is toxic and it only brings out the worst in you, why would you stay?
True.
Yeah, but you could be the light. If as long as you make it, you are the story. You're the story, and if you could become the story, and you can save even 2-3 kids by letting them know. This life doesn't always have to end with death.
And that's really good. You could do that, but like I said, if your area is toxic towards you, then why stay there?
It's
If it brings
easier
out the
for.
worst.
Agreed, but I think it's all. I'm not saying you should still go, but I'm saying it's easier for a kid in the hood to see you there and see you make it and believe in you then, to see you all the way and you telling them, oh, you can make it, because all they're gonna hear is, he ain't like us, he ain't here, look who he is, he's in Hollywood or whatever. But if you're still in the hood and stuff, and you still reachable, as in a kid could come to you and ask you, how did you do it and stuff like that. I guess that's more relatable, and that's all I'm
Then
saying.
a gunman can come and access you more easily and end their life. Hence Nipsey Hussle, right?
True. So, don't know which one is better or worse. I can see why you will stay, because you become the inspiration. I can see why you will go, because your life is in danger. So that's the drawback. Is what are you prepared to lose? For what are you prepared to gain?
I think that's the question. What are you prepared to lose versus what are you willing to gain? Do I see the best way is to leave the hood but buy the hood? You get famous, you get some money, start buying property, start buying the empty lots that people would use to sling drugs or for any other illicit activities. Because once you own it, once you go, you can now put up facilities. You can now start programs in these spaces and in these areas that benefit the people of your community. What about you, Ken? What's your take on it?
I've been. It's sad. I mean, it only happened on Sunday. That's only 3 days removed from that. But I've been thinking a lot about this, because I'm trying to figure out how he could have escaped this and still do what he did. The way I see it, when it comes to most hip hop artists, and I think this, even though there are philanthropists throughout all of the genres, this is specifically a thing with hip hop artists. There are 3 or 4 different types of guys or rappers or hip hop moguls who give back to the community. You have Nipsey Hussle, who will always be part of the gang, who will always say where he's from and not run away from where he is, but then as unfortunately becomes too close to it, is too attached to it, and gets caught up in it. You get the Jay-Z, who, even though he's creating all of these initiatives, he has all of these programs to help the youth. He had that prison reform thing that he's doing with Meek Mill. He's so far removed from it. he's talking about Basquiat paintings and all this stuff. No matter how much advice he gives, you will never catch him at ground zero. You'll never see him in the streets. You'll never see him on the take the subway in the middle of the Bronx or wherever whatever part of New York he was from, because he is so far removed from it. Then you have, and this is, I think, an impossible medium because of who he is, the Chance the Rapper side of it, where this is a guy who's heavily involved in the shit that's going on in Chicago, people dying every day. He's heavily mixed into politics and the news that gets dispersed and setting up things to specifically help people in Chicago, but he's not from the hood, so he's not attached to it, so he can't really get caught up in it. That a lot of rappers who are trying to go back and help don't have that benefit or privilege because they don't have that because they're stuck with that gang affiliation. If you go back, they're gonna know who you are, and if you represent it the way Nip does, you're gonna get caught up in it. And then there's the one that everyone else falls into, where Thanksgivings and Christmases and whenever they feel like it, they might donate something, or they might have a cookout for the homeless or something like that, but they won't really be pushing things forward. Like you might catch a Rick Ross out there trying to help people on a specific day or something like that, but they won't be doing it as often as the other people that I mentioned before. And I feel like Nipsey, for the most part, I wish he could stay attached but detach himself at the same time, which is really hard for him to, or it would have been really hard for him to do, because he's helping specific people. Like it was revealed that he was there because he was trying to get help for a guy from a gang that recently got out of jail. Like you can't do that and be detached at the same time, because you have to know these people. He was employing people that were in gangs or ex-convicts, people that wouldn't be able to get a job, and you wouldn't hear these stories unless he was part of it. And
you don't hear
that's the unfortunate bit. That's the unfortunate bit, because the only way that Jay-Z will hear about that is if someone throws out a tweet where they get the phone and the internet connection to do that. Lord knows when they're in the middle of poverty, and then people get behind it in likes, and then he picks out that one when there are thousands of others that are probably suffering from the same thing. The Chance the Rapper, even with all of these things where he's trying to help people get educated in schools and all that stuff, he's not going to be able to help the kid that just got out of jail, can't go back to school because he tried to join a gang at 15 and he's deemed as dangerous, and now he can't get a job. Like his story probably won't get the chance. And with the rest of the rappers they come maybe four or five times out of the year to the hood, like a Kanye or Rick Ross, the people are suffering for the other 360 days. So I don't know how that's gonna help them. So I feel like Nipsey had to be where he is, and it's unfortunate because his fate was taken out of his hands, I feel like, by someone who's not just an idiot but selfish in not realizing benefit that he's giving. It's like you're destroying, not just you haven't taken away someone's life, you've also fucked up a whole lot of people's lives that were being supported by one person. And
not to mention his kids and his wife and the rest of his family, you know.
You destroy people emotionally and financially. Yeah.
I mean, I think to what you were saying with regards to getting out of it yourself, Nip was like the rest of us, learning, right? He was very much one of those sort of know better, do better type of person. So I think it was only a matter of time until he was able to do what he did and still be relatively safe personally, you know, like the Jay-Z, like the, Chance the Rapper. We're not going to talk about the other guy from Chicago, like Rick Ross. So I think it was only a matter of time until he was safe and secure in a better regard, because he was only out there with what, 3 people or a couple other people. His bodyguard wasn't even there. That's how comfortable he felt. Right? He was home. He was home. So it's basically like someone broke into his home and shot him to fuck up. But yeah, we done with Nip? No? That?
I guess the verdict, we haven't really got a verdict. Do you stay or do you go? You said you believe it has to go.
I think we need a verdict.
Okay, then. I say you have to leave in the end because
I think it's very situation dependent.
True. Or how involved, as what I said, it depends on how involved you are with the hood, I guess.
Yeah, but rest in peace, Nipsey, man. That's a real one. That's a real one. Yeah. It's gonna hurt for a while.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
But over that, there are some stabbings over on you guys' ends. We've gone from shooting to stabbing, just the weapon change. Lives are being lost. What's going on over there in London, guys?
Man, this is
an epidemic.
It's epidemic level. Look, there has to be a bit of background here. I've been a Londoner for majority of my life. I was raised mostly in for people that know London, Catford, New Cross, and Peckham. In my earlier
Dodgy
days,
areas. Dodgy areas.
essentially southeast London, but this is happening all over London, so we can't pigeonhole it to that area only.
Did you call Mariba? He's the baddest guy in his block.
Yeah.
Yo, don't get me shut up. Stop this shit.
Side, yeah.
Don't get me shut up. Do not get me shut up with this shit.
If you're the baddest guy on your block, you don't have to worry about that.
The baddest guy can get shut up too. I just takes a punk to show up with a gun, yo. Don't even try. Don't even.
Alright, but getting back to it, these stabbings are causing uproar, shock, horror for a lot of people. But I've known the London that existed, but not even that far in the past, because I'm only 28 compared to how it was before I was born, and when gangster culture was really a thing back in London. But during my youth, people were getting stabbed all the time. The difference was back then, social media wasn't that big. I mean, it wasn't even a thing. The internet wasn't that big. The majority of the stories were coming out in the newspaper, and if it was black on black crime, you were lucky to get a 200 character bit in the bottom left of the 76 page of the local newspaper, never mind on national TV. And what used to happen was stop and search was a big thing. There was a whole thing about it. Grime songs came out protesting it, routine check, all of that stuff, where kids were being profiled. I was being profiled. I got searched by the same policeman 3 times in one day. I'm like, what do you think I've been doing this whole time? I'm in my school uniform, but it's whatever. Then we got to a place where we were tackling it as a black community, where we were grabbing these kids, getting them away from these gang leaders, and moving them towards youth centers and programs where we were giving them something to do. We were also taking people that went to prison for a bit and come back, putting them up in these to give these, well, actually, I'm not going to use the word sermon, but more talks with kids about how they fucked up and you shouldn't follow my example and stuff like that. And then, like all governments around the world, funding gets cut from things that they don't necessarily see a worth in, and that just happened to be all of these programs. The one that used to be literally right outside my council estate block got closed down. All of the kids that were there, at least 3 of them I've known since then have gone to prison, and one of them, I'm not going to say their name, on the run for something, and I think that's a cold case now. That shit.
We're gonna cut that piece. We're gonna cut that piece. You don't know no killers. What's wrong with you, Ken?
I don't know where he is. I'm just saying. I know if someone's been caught up in the pen. My man hasn't been caught up in the pen. It's just the way it is. You can't run away from it. There are killers out there. That's just the way it is. And you know someone who knows someone who knows someone is a killer. Maybe that someone's me. We can skip past that bit.
I don't know no killers. I don't know no killers. I don't know any killers.
But that's I'm not running away from that fact. That's just the way it is. These type of people, these sorts of things, people did not see the value in it because they didn't understand the good that came of it, because people only see when there's an immediate good from something. They weren't seeing the turnaround that was happening, and you could tell because even as social media was increasing and the internet was increasing, the amount people weren't talking about stabbings the way they're talking about stabbings now, and the way the black community was talking about stabbings back in the day. This has been an escalation via indirect causes, and these indirect causes are the things that we've been talking about, warning people about. A lot of I don't want to use the word urban because I don't like the word urban, but black pushed radio stations who used to bring people in to learn media and all that stuff got closed down. And where do all these kids go? Because these were the kids that were at risk. I mean, and that's a media term. At risk use is a media term that people keep using. But these were the kids that were at risk, and now they're being told by these gang leaders, like it's a weird way to put it, but your country's abandoned you. No one's out there looking for you. If I give you a few bags, you hide them on your body. You shift them when you need to, and and you get to keep a bit of the percentage. You get to be your own boss, and make your own living. That to people that don't, to kids or youth that don't know better, that's going to be the way forward. But you also have to be able to prove yourself, and that's where these stabbings are coming from. Kids recklessly doing it because they want to prove to other people that they don't take shit. They're not to be fucked with.
So what is
and
it just like to stab people?
the stabbing's not worth it if it's not getting anything back for you. Trust, this isn't this like people
You're
need to
doing it for
understand
clout.
that where they're doing it for reasons. People think that these are just like and this is where the racism shit comes in. People just think they're just animals that just go out stabbing people like they're serial killers. These aren't serial killers. Guaranteed, a lot of these kids will be looking at themselves in the mirror, vomiting in the toilet because after they acknowledge what the fuck they just did for a little bit of clout, little bit of reputation, and a little bit of come up inside whatever gang they've been affiliated with. A result of them being roped into something that we've been trying to get them away from and been stripped of our resources to do for a while, and it's been coming in like everyone remembers the riots, London riots, where like that side of London people got killed, murdered. Like children have realized that shit can get done by them if people give the opportunity for them to do it. It's just about where you steer them. Do you steer them to all this bullshit that's going on right now, or do you steer them down, and I'm going to use another fucking cliche thing, down the path of righteousness and fucking get their shit together? But when we want to do that, that shit's been stripped from us, and we can't. And now it's in the news every single time they bring the token black man on the BBC or the fucking ITVs or the Skies. So what do you think about this? And we all say the same thing. We all say what I've been saying about we've been stripped of these opportunities with the youth setups to bring these kids in and give them an opportunity to express themselves and get them away from this gang violence. And then the argumentative white or old time fucking news anchor will be like, well, aren't these kids just killing? Shouldn't we be jailing them? We should be locking up every single one and should be catching them and throwing them in jail like that, and then literally not thinking about the consequence of what that does. We know that majority of people that go to jail are repeat offenders. So what's that gonna do? It baffles me sometimes when I end up watching the BBC, which I don't normally do, but I see someone that I know because I've seen them trying to at Oxford Street handing out leaflets because they don't have any building to call their own to get these people in, but they have to go on Oxford Street handing out leaflets trying to tell people that they're trying to set up programs in order to prevent knife crime with as little funding as they have because the government's not backing them. And then BBC or ITV wants to rope them in to give some speech that never going to get reciprocated because the government doesn't listen, but the government will put you in jail for sure. I mean, I've ranted on for a bit because it's really annoying, and it sticks really close to home because I've seen some of these people and I know some of these people, and it baffles me that the obvious thing isn't being taken care of. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that.
I mean, man, they're getting good training in stabbing people using a knife.
I don't know if I want to call that training.
Learning how to cut. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to call that training for sure. That training won't get you far.
You reckon it's gonna get worse, Ken, then?
For sure. For sure.
Man.
I mean, you all move from the acid in the face to stabbings now, right?
Yeah, it's not
I thought the acid in the face was Africa.
No, acid in the face was in London as well. People got acid chuck in the face on buses. Like they're not afraid. Like they'll do it in public settings. Then there was the whole like it comes in waves because these people are just coming up with new ways for these kids to prove themselves.
I remember at one point it was driving around on the motorbikes. Bikes.
That was the next thing. Like literally running up in groups, like jump kicking people off of their bikes while they're going next to a traffic light, and then riding off with it. It's like that, and because you're in a group, the guy that got up can't fight back. You ain't fighting a group, like, and then they just make away with it. But there was no other reason. Oh, they got a bike out of it, but the main reason of it was to prove a point, gain clout. There was always someone with a phone videotaping that shit, and then it end up on some sort of someone's channel and before that shit gets taken down, but they've proven what they needed to prove.
Correct.
At that point.
Correct. I mean, they're just getting bolder and bolder as time goes on, right?
Yeah.
There is no sort of remorse for humanity. There is no sort of moral code. They just kind of do it because they don't. I mean, hopefully some of them are going to grow up and be like, wow, what I was doing was absolute bullshit. And I guess some will, and the large majority of them will not, unfortunately. But we can only hope that the ones who realize earlier on that what they're doing is absolute bullshit reaches out and tries to pull a few out tries to pull a few of the homies out of there with them.
A lot of them ain't gonna make it up because a lot of these kids just get stabbed. They do the nonsense. They walk into the wrong hood to prove that they bad and stuff, and they get stabbed in the next area. And
It's blood in, blood out, right?
Yeah.
It's blood in, blood out.
Right. Do you think? Well, the people are saying it's random stabbing. Do you think it's targeted stabbing, Ken, or you just reckon they're just stabbing some random person for clout? Or
it's random, and best believe these people are organized. Like the victims will always be for the majority of the time be random, but when it comes to the fact that multiple happen within the same time, they're trying to throw you off, guaranteed, because they know the way that the police flap about trying to catch these people is it's a surprise that they catch majority of these people at all. Like these things are planned to make sure that people get in and get out as efficiently as possible. It's not a joke. Like they're not just running around with a knife and saying maybe it'll be you today and just doing it. It's all planned for sure.
If it's planned, how could you say it's random though?
Because the targets are. This is what I'm talking about. Like they're not. This isn't some sort of like serial killer shit. It's not gang on gang. This is for the most part random. Maybe someone might have a grudge against some shit, and then they'll throw that out there. But for the most part, this shit is just random.
Yeah, the action itself is random. The targets. I mean, the action itself is planned. The targets themselves are random. I mean, it's only gonna get worse before it gets better. This is the nature of the world we live in. Just protect yourselves, guys. Protect yourself. That's all we could really hope to do. Protect yourselves, protect your family, protect your loved ones. Right? Tell people around you that you love them. Make sure that they know. Make sure they're aware. Give people the roses while they can still smell them. Don't let them go away. And then you say, oh, I miss them and I love them, and I think I have to tell them all these different things. Hold your family close, hold your friends close. Let them know they matter.
Fast stabbing.
Oh, just for anything, because life is short. Life is short for a lot of people. So far we have 2 64-year-olds and 2 30-something-year-olds here. So
I'm trying to work out who's the next 64-year-old. But
myself, myself. I'm 64.
Okay, just check it.
I'm only 27. You're not getting 28. You're not getting me with that. A long time before my back starts to creak.
I tell you, my knees be cracking and shit. So hey.
Yeah. Thank you.
Speaking of an older age, you're not supposed to drink. This is a fucking bar, yo. You're not supposed to drink energy drinks after a certain age, right? But what if the energy drinks contain Viagra? Because recently an energy drink was banned because it was discovered to contain Viagra. The energy drink is Power Natural High Energy Drink SX. Now I don't know who's gonna put a drink with that long of a name into their body. Like, why Power Natural High Energy Drink? Like, it has the word drink in it, so it's not natural. If that's like saying, oh, I want some of that green drink, I want some of that purple juice,
Yeah, it's a bit.
Yeah, it's a bit sketch from jump, but it's a product made in Zambia, and apparently he got more energy than he bargained for, so he ended up with a 6-hour reaction. Take that 5-hour energy. It turns out the drink contained Viagra, but now they banned it. If it was legal, yeah, like if you knew it had Viagra in it and you were older, would you take it?
If I couldn't get an erection and I wanted to go smash some girls, yes, drink it 2 hours before.
2 hours before for that 4-hour erection.
No, drink it right. Let them know what it's about. Drink it right in front of them. So let them know what you're about. Let them know.
But turn it out.
Let them know you mean business.
I hear that.
I always got to drain an energy drink after I drink it, so I can't be drinking just mad. Because that shit must be diluted as hell. How many energy drinks you got to drink to get the same as a regular pill?
Right?
If I'm chugging down 5 energy drinks, my heart is racing. I need to fucking take a piss, but I have an erection, so I can't do any of that shit. My bladder's it's fucked. I don't know if I
just go and you piss and you hope it lands in the right place.
I mean, they already have so many drinks for men that are like marketed towards men, and they named all these different like hyper aggressive names that are supposed to make your John Boy stand up harder than rocks, right? They have like the Stamina X and the Jinxing Root drink, and X.
Supligen.
At one point, Supligen was marketed like that. Yes.
Wait, you gotta fill me in on this. What is Supligen?
You know what Supligen is?
One.
Oh wait,
It's a milk energy drink.
They don't have Supligen over there, right?
Bro, we got nutriment and nourishment.
No,
That's it.
no, that's not a supplement, sir. That is not.
Think Ensure, but a better flavor. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, how about this, right? One day, whenever you come to Trinidad, I'm gonna give you some Supligen. I'll write up some nuts in it. I'll give you some Supligen and nuts, right?
You need, after giving me Supligen, you need to give that man a bathroom ticket too, because he's gonna be shitting whole day.
Nah. It's only the vanilla. Only the vanilla.
Only the vanilla, yeah?
Remember that story you told us?
Even CMOS, the CMOS also is the one. The CMOS one is he will go bust.
No, I could go out the road right now and meet up a man named Brown. Brown have a punch card, right? Brown could make a drink for you. Will treat you better than any Viagra, better than any what the fuck is this name thing? What the fuck is the name of this thing? Power Natural High Energy Drink SX. Better than all that, better than Extends. You just tell Brown you want the bomb, and homeboy will put all sorts of shit in there. I don't know what he puts in there. But after I drink it, I fucking whole night. Whole night of shellings. Whole night of shellings, though.
You know that shit's gonna catch up back to you. Like, you're gonna just get up with a heart condition. Like,
that's alright. I go dead in the pump. What I say?
Recycle. You recycle.
Fucking glucose. He put in glucose. He put in granola. He put in beets. He put in linseed and CMOS and peanut. Yeah. That thing be is loaded up, and he's put in a big styrofoam cup. It look like he be smuggling fucking drugs in the cup. What's the thing big?
So yeah, this one, right? There's this thing that a lot of Trinidadians believe. They believe you take a turtle prick and you dry it, and then you grind it and you drink it. Mix it with something and you drink it, and it makes your gun stronger.
But you ever hear about this? Because I must be a fake Trinidadian. I never hear that.
It's a country thing.
You live in too deep south.
Nico, you were living in Kuwait. I was living in England. We missed this memo.
I missed that meeting.
It's actually a thing, and
nigga, I live deep south.
I heard it the first time from some guys in Mayaro, and they actually do it. They actually, I swear, they do this shit.
If I see a nigga grind up some turtle piggy, I am gone.
With the pestle and mortar, just
right.
It helps with something. It's like them remedies.
An aphrodisiac.
I wouldn't know, man. I never drink the thing.
Nigga, I grew up in deep south. I grew up in Oropuch, and I never hear that.
Deep south. That's not a deep south.
Listen. I'm a city boy now. Anything past San Fernando is deep south, okay? Anything past San Fernando is deep south.
But it's a thing because some guys was working with me, and the guy was begging the next guy, "Hey, come now, let me get some of that, boy. Save some for me."
You threw a pause in there. You want some of that piggy?
that turtle
schlong.
Yeah,
Well,
I only heard about it like a few years ago.
I will not deny. The only thing I've tried is my CMOS Supligen. That's as far as I've gone.
You even tried the nuts?
No sir. CMOS Supligen is as far as I went.
That green Supligen is last one. I'm not gonna lie, that green Supligen.
Yeah, that is CMOS.
But remember, you can't like they literally don't have that over there. I'm sure it has Supligen over there though.
No.
I think
not even in Brixton.
Caribbean.
Not even in Brixton.
Wow. Next time you come down, you have to carry something in your bag for him, man.
Yeah, I'll give him 2 Supligen and send him on his way.
Ken, you're gonna be mashing up some more to men, boy.
You're making me worried, fam.
No, it will work. It will work too well. It will work too well.
You know,
it's basically an energy drink, okay?
Back in the day, they used to market it with like real men drink Supligen. It was a super like hyper sexualized image of a man with some, I think he was doing like construction or something, and the rain was falling on him. It was like very 80s, like very Fabio-esque type of advertisement.
Oh, you're supposed to be able to get it in London because Supligen is a Nestle drink.
Nah, we ain't
Oh,
getting
double
that
check.
Supligen.
I'm telling you, it's not here. You
Check
think I
the
would
world
stop?
section at Tesco. Check even the Caribbean places. There's no. I don't see any.
I know
Okay.
for sure you're not gonna get it at Tesco because I didn't see it at Tesco.
Let me just tell you this. You think if it was over here, I wouldn't be telling Ken, yo, you need to drink this shit. You need to get yourself some of this. I'm not gonna leave him out to this. But here, it's not here.
Yeah, sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Alright. Go on sunlandcaribbean.co.uk.
Oh, you
And
found
you'll
it.
get Supligen. You get that shit.
Wait. You gotta send that to me.
Did I like? Don't worry.
We'll put it in the
guys.
description as well.
Exactly, guys.
We're here to help out all of our listeners.
Yo, sponsor the bag. SunlandCaribbean.com.
Yo.
Taking care of all the viewers.
Yeah.
Discount
you guys-
code generally.
It's so good you can even order it. Right? You get your order on. I would say stay away from the vanilla one because the vanilla one will make you feel like if you're shitting your life out. So,
No, you
Try
will
the-
literally be shitting your life out.
try the CMOS, right?
The stick to CMOS.
That's only 188. Oh, I couldn't do that easy.
Alright, white women. Look out again tomorrow.
Yo, why is it gotta be white women, man?
It's
What is
easy.
this?
Dog,
Like I said.
reparations, dog. Come on, reparations.
Yo, that's evil. That's evil, right?
I'm not getting involved with this. I'm just staying out of it.
That's not.
Man, shit, you can even buy that shit off of Amazon.
What?
Yeah, you can buy it
Yo, I
off of
got
Amazon.
Prime. This shit is coming.
Look out tonight, white women.
I
It's
will
not-
show you. I did
Don't
not
worry,
think
guys,
to, like buy
description.
food stuff. It's on Amazon.
You sure it's UK or .com though? Is it
It's
UK
UK,
or
it's
.com?
UK, it's UK.
UK, man, it's UK.
If you drop that link in, dude, it's done.
Would you look
I
at
don't
that?
drop it already.
No, I don't want vanilla. That's vanilla. We
You want
CMOS.
CMOS.
We want CMOS. We don't. I don't wanna
CMOS.
I don't want to shit my life away. I don't.
I think the CMOS though is primarily Caribbean.
But then we know what that CMOS does. Can stay away from the vanilla for real though. Like really stay away from that. That's
But
not
now,
good
you know,
for
try one. Just stay home.
Okay.
Try one.
Work from home.
Yeah, work from home that day. Work from home that day. Speaking of working from home, some esports athletes, before they become esports athletes, they practice their gaming at home. So we have some diaspora drama. Trinidad and Tobago dropped a diaspora beatdown on Ghana. You know,
Why you gotta call it that?
I totally can. You
because it
Why
was
can't it just be
because we won, motherfucker.
a spirited battle where there had to be one winner and that just happened to be TNT?
Yeah,
Why can't it-
and Ghana is the loser. We're better than you. This is sports.
I told you.
This is sports.
This is the only reason these stories end up in the fucking docket.
It's relevant.
Fam, if I was there, this wouldn't be the case. Let's just say that.
Why did you enter, bro? You have to represent
I
the
didn't
people.
know TNT had that kind of beef. I didn't know you. Like Ghanaians, like we're not on that radar. We have one common enemy amongst Ghanaians, and that's Nigerians, and that's it. I don't know why.
Is it just black people fighting on each other again?
It's
Everywhere
a
you go.
rivalry thing. It's just a rivalry thing. Like,
No.
like,
To be honest, I had no idea this was going on. Like,
like, this has been going on from day.
I had
from
no idea. No, like that. We had local FIFA pros. I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, it happens a lot. I've noticed a lot when it comes to console esports, because that's like it's easier to get into because all you need is a console to get that,
Yeah.
and like most people have a console. Even like they'll share a console in a house or something like that. And like the in Dominican Republic has a Capcom Cup Street Fighter champion.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so it's and the Caribbean like really takes advantage of like the fighting games, shooters, and FIFA and all that stuff because it's easier to access on that type of stuff.
Right. I know we have a budding Dota community. I didn't realize. I know we have like a fighting community. I just didn't realize that it was so, how to put it, like not well organized, but like so well respected so far. It's not like the biggest thing ever. This is the first time hearing about it, and the first time people are hearing about it here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, sure.
But congratulations to Kyle, Jack, and Javon City Slicker Charles for beating Ghana in the first ever Pro eCopa FIFA 19 tournament.
Oh, that's for now.
Yeah,
But
You know what?
Trinidad
You know what?
number one.
I think Nigo just put this in here to rub it in Ken's face.
Of course.
Of course.
That's solely for that. He don't care who won. He don't care that we have a community.
No,
He just wants it.
but real talk. Congrats to the esports guys. You know, it's good to see in general that black people are doing esport things in on like some form of a scale, because every now and again we will see like one or two black people here and there. You know, we have a good few black people in the fighting community. We have a few people in like the Smash community, I think. But we don't
Brit
have
is
a
Evo
whole
champion.
lot. Yeah.
And the black people in NFL community, we have pulled out.
For sure,
We have pulled out of the NFL. In the NFL, Madden.
One can only hope, but not really. No, niggas still out there.
No,
playing Madden.
because you know, after you get shot for playing Madden,
Damn, I should be laughing.
I speak for all black players, and I say we're pulling out. We pull out.
You'd be surprised. A lot of them still playing
be
that.
surprised,
And
yeah.
but is there? I don't think there's a huge like esports community for Madden and like 2K games.
It's not big. It's like the EA affiliated games. I gotta say, with the exception of FIFA, it's not big.
Yeah.
And it only gets as big as it is because of its connection to the real life sport, I guess.
Yeah.
But-
And like the bigger esports like League, Overwatch. There's a good few people in Fortnite now. Actually, a good few black guys in Fortnite. But you know, it's good to see. It's good to see the
But
skin
that's
folk.
suspect. All the black guys in Fortnite suspect.
It's good to see some skin folk doing good things in the esports
Yep,
space.
for sure. So, for now, congratulations. But next time,
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
We'll
Thanks. Because you lost.
I'm telling you now. If we had lost, Nigo would have said, "What is this nonsense? Delete."
this wouldn't get anywhere near the docket. I'd be like, so, what about this topic? And be like, what topic?
Ken, I would bring it for you to rub it in his eye. I would bring it for you to
It
rub
would
it
not.
in his eye.
No. You see, the way Karma works is now Ghana is gonna win absolutely every fucking thing, and I'm never gonna stop hearing about it. That's right. I'm willing to take those bets. Trinidad and Tobago, do me proud, my guys. Do me proud.
Alright.
But yeah. I don't know. Is there anything else that you guys want to highlight or talk about?
Nah, it's about an hour, close enough to an hour. I think that's alright.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
Well, folks. You know, this was another episode of Generally Dysfunctional. This is episode. What is it? This is what, episode 12? Yeah, we should have said this at the beginning of the episode. Whatever. Episode 12. Good to have you guys listening here with us. You can catch us on all streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, all that good shit. You can get us on social media. Our social media links are down below in the description in the link tree. You can catch us on Twitter at GendPod. On Instagram is GendPodcast. On YouTube, well, obviously you're listening here, Generally Dysfunctional. And, you know, that'll be it from myself, the homies. Rest in peace, Nipsy Hussle.
Yep.
Like and subscribe.
And visit London for all that dark tourism, that UK stabbing.
Oh yeah. P.S. Try that Supligen, guys. We're gonna hook you guys up with that Supligen.
Try a
Don't
fucking
worry.
Supligen, man. Yo, Nestle, where's the bag? I want a bag for everybody.
And for American listeners, we'll post a link where you can buy it in America.
True.
Note: avoid the vanilla. Avoid that vanilla. Like
American stick, take vanilla. American stick, take the vanilla. Yeah. Vanilla is good, America.
Peace.